We are having so much fun, and we know you're going to love our next guest. His name is Tony Walker, and he is a comedy guy. Comedy cures everything. So.
Absolutely. I had cancer at the age of 32, and I do believe that the laughter and the positive attitude got me through it just as much as the medications did, which led to the comedy troupe that I run called Knockem Dead Comedy. We do dinner theater, murder mysteries, game shows, kid shows. We're not stand-up or anything like that, just comedy shows, variety shows.
So you go to restaurants and where else? Like theaters?
Restaurants, private parties, corporate events, fundraisers. Did I say fundraisers?
Fundraisers, firehouse.
The comedy shows, they're murder mysteries, they're audience participation. It's a scripted show because there's clues and hints that have to go out, but it's not a don't blink or you'll miss something. It's not Agatha Christie.
Right.
It's a comedy. It's lighthearted, but one of the characters does get killed,
right.
And then the audience has to figure out who did it and why. And if it's a private party or a corporate event, we personalize it to fit their event.
Now, do you ask the audience for help with the mysteries? Or
Yeah, they solve it.
All by themselves.
Based on what they saw during the show, we even give them a little section where they can interrogate the suspects.
Oh, that's
and,
fun.
So we'll deflect, deny, point fingers at other characters, but everybody makes the rounds throughout the whole room and talks to people.
The show is guaranteed. It's 100% guaranteed fun.
Totally.
Everywhere we go,
always.
everybody loves that show.
The audience just get so involved, and there's just such a part of the show, and that makes it even better.
Other things that you do aside
Yeah,
from
we
mystery.
do game shows.
Oh, the game show, we have a podium with lights and buzzers and sounds, and it's basically
Like
a
a
trivia
family
game
feud.
show, or it could be, again, we ad-lib with that too, so they may want a trivia game show, but if we show up and they're a loud, boisterous group and they're a lot of fun, we could ask them to do funny physical challenges, or do some karaoke, or whatever, or name that tune, whatever we feel like doing, and they'll be willing to do, we'll take it there.
What movie introduced the phrase, "There's no crying in baseball"?
What letter comes after A? Go ahead. B is correct!
Is there a favorite skit that you do that just still cracks you up every time you do it?
We do a lot of audience participation murder mystery shows, comedic murder mystery shows. And there's two shows. We have a mob show. We're in New York. You have to have the mob shows. And we have a redneck wedding, which is just
I'll
it's
have
a
to come
lot
see
of
that
fun.
one.
You're welcome
Yeah!
anytime. Anytime. In fact, I even
Well,
brought
growing
you
up
a
in
shirt.
St. Louis, Missouri, I have to say, you did?
Oh, of course I did.
Hey!
That you will wear everywhere you go. In fact, I have a whole bunch there. I'm giving one out to everybody.
Everywhere I go. Okay.
That's right.
There you go.
Knockem Dead Comedy.
Oh,
we
that's
call it.
great.
Can I
Knockem Dead
pretend I'm
Comedy.
drinking something here?
Excellent. Yeah, you can pretend like you're
Thanks,
drinking something.
I'm having fun on the set.
We actually do put water in it when guests ask.
Just
we
not
do. But
this
if you
guest,
but if you don't ask ahead of time, wait. This one's full of water. You ready? 1, 2, 3. All right. There you go.
Johnny, you have a good time tonight or what?
Had an awesome time.
All right. KDC, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, all right.
The Knockem Dead Comedy Radio Show also brought to you by Two Eagles Auto Body. For more than 25 years, Two Eagles Auto Body has been the leader in auto body repairs and customer satisfaction on Long Island. Two Eagles Auto Body handles every type of auto repair, from custom applications and restorations to repairs involving insurance claims. So call Two Eagles Auto Body and ask for John Rossi at 516-328-2527.
Hey, how do you say there, people? It's Johnny Brennan, creator of the Jerky Boys, also of Fox TV's Family Guy fame. I just want to let you know you're listening to Tony and Sally on the Knockem Dead radio show. They're going to keep knocking them dead, so keep listening, you wacky sons of bitch. Right there. Over and out there, sweet Charlie.
3-2 to Mookie Wilson. Little roller up along first. Behind the bag. It gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight, and the Mets win it.
Hello, Tony. Mookie Wilson here, 1986 Mets. How you doing? Long time no see, man. Hey, man, I miss you guys, man, that Knockem Dead Comedy Radio, man. I miss you. I wish I was still up there, man. But I'll wait till it warm up a little bit, and hopefully this year things will be a little bit better, man. But when we're talking about comedy, hey, the early years of Mets was a lot to laugh about. You had to make a lot of comedy with those guys. Hey, hope to see you guys during the summer, and hopefully you'll get back on the show, man, at some point in time during the course of the year, all right? All right? Yeah, fine. Contact me, man. All right, Tony. Talk to you later.
Hello, everybody. It is Monday. Welcome to the Knockem Dead Comedy Podcast here on Gov's Comedy Club Podcast Twitch channel. Thanks for joining us here on Twitch. We ask that you subscribe and like it, and if you can, like, I don't even know what you do on Twitch, but I know you subscribe and follow. I know you do that much. So please do that and share the link to our show on all your social media places. We'd really appreciate that very much as we try to grow this damn thing. And that's why we have people like Mo here, to make it more fun so more people like us. Because Mo is very likable. Hi, Mo.
Hi, Tony.
You are very likable, and I'm glad you're here. I love when you come in and hang out with me.
I'm likable. Don't ask my ex-husband about that, please.
Well, yeah, I could say the same. I have,
I won't ask your ex-husband.
That's good. He's probably the only one that would like me. Which reminds me, last week I had a guy in here on Thursday. Mm-hmm. This guy, Danny. Danny, he told me twice during the show that I'm a good-looking guy. And then I walk out of here, they're doing some work in the hallway and stuff here. So they're carpenter, they're handyman, whatever you call them. I'm saying goodbye to him because I've known him here. I've been here for a while. He's been here. So we know each other. We're saying goodbye. So I said, "You got a busy rest of the day?" And he just looks at me and goes, "Well, I was thinking about growing my beard out and shaving my head so I can look more like you."
Oh.
Then, just this morning, he was in here. He's leaving, I think, tomorrow. He's from the Dominican Republic. He's leaving, I think, tomorrow. He's going down there for a month to see family. Just this morning, we're talking, and he's leaving because he had somewhere else to be. And he goes, after you finish your show today, why don't you come down to the Dominican Republic with me?
Oh.
I know. I was like, it's one thing to joke around, but to actually get invited, I just went, sure, I can just pick up and drop everything I have and jump on a plane. I didn't know what to say.
I'm pretty sure, as much as this is leaning towards perhaps something romantic or otherwise, the horror junkie in me is like, he just wants you down there to steal your flipping organs and sell them on the black market and hold you hostage. And then, I know I totally want to be on an episode of Dateline, but just not yours.
Well, and I appreciate that.
Yes.
But you want to be on an episode of Dateline for somebody else?
Well, given some of my past transgressions, we'll call them.
Good.
There is a very good chance that I'm going to show up as either the victim or the main suspect.
Oh, wow. There are certain people in this world who, if they suddenly disappeared, no one would miss them.
That's true.
Yeah.
But then you got to involve other things in it. You got to involve a sex worker. You got to involve, other children and complications. And normally there's more than one sex worker, so we'll see how that unfolds, which is kind of like why I'm very interested in being on this. I just want all the information without actually being involved enough to get the information.
Right.
Yeah, follow that.
Yeah, we're 5 minutes in. I'm already done. I got nothing. Holy crap! Wow. All right, so there you go. Mo's here, and I think Brian Paul's walking. There he is. Hello, Brian Paul.
Hello, Brian Paul.
How are we?
Come on in. We're doing well. Good to see you. Take your time. Of course. It's Gray Day apparently.
It is. We're all here to blend in with
we
the
all got the gray. Yeah. Well,
Exactly. Well, we're gonna do the weather.
Right. I'm blue, but I got gray on underneath.
Dabu-dee-dabu-da.
So, Brian, Mo, Brian.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
Nice
How
to
are
meet
you?
you. I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Brian Paul is here, ladies and gentlemen. This is Brian's first time on the show with us. Fairly new comedian, I would say.
First time I stepped on stage to do open mic was in August.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
So it's been,
and where was that? Was that here? Or?
Where was that? That was, well, I guess at the time it was Clyde's.
Oh, okay.
So
right.
I guess went from Barton's to Clyde's to Royals to who knows what it'll be next week.
Oh, wow. All right. Very nice. Andrew Fremder, waking up in a bathtub with no kidneys. Now, that's a date, he says. Yeah, you missed some interesting stuff in the first few minutes here, yeah.
Apparently.
Don't get on Mo's bad side is what we're kind of learning here.
Or don't be overly friendly with day laborers, or else you might get your organs harvested.
Day laborers?
Only day laborers? Right. I'm in healthcare. I'm sure I could probably make a buck at this.
Well, yes, and speaking of healthcare, that's, first off, a couple of things. First off, that was our introduction to each other because you were nice enough to reach out to me when I was having some stump issues, which I thought was super nice of you. So I knew right away, this guy's a good man.
Happy to help.
Yeah, and much appreciated, pal. But now my other thing.
Stumpy.
Yes, Stumpy. Yes. I've been called worse.
Residual limb. That's what they teach us to use. The stump is a demeaning term.
Residual limb, as in what's left?
Yes, that's
I make good use of what's
all
left.
about the
Let me
semantics.
tell you. Stump jobs, I believe they're called. Yeah.
I would love to give a retort to that, but I'm stumped.
There it is. See, that's half my act, which is why I don't get to
joke?
do a lot of comedy. Yeah, I do a lot of hacky.
Thank you, Eileen.
Yes, exactly. Yes. So, all right. So now my other thing with you being in the healthcare field, I have a complaint against myself. Actually, I am a huge klutz. I'm a klutz, and I do stupid things. In fact, I was talking about on the show last week. I was in the bathroom last week, and I put my hands under the water. I was just going to kind of splash my face a little bit. And as I got right here, for whatever reason, I sniffled. So all this water, I practically drowned because I'm an idiot, right? So now, last night, I was at the Comic Strip Live in New York City, and I'm sitting in my seat, right? And I wanted to, actually what I just did, I wanted to do one of these and just kind of move my chair up a little bit. So I reached down to kind of, to pull the chair up, and somehow, I don't even know what I did. So I'm trying to move the chair up. The actual seat kind of just all of a sudden kind of lifts up. Usually it's, screwed in or bolted in. It actually lifted up.
Like where you're sitting on a toilet.
I left that part out now. So I'm sitting there. The seat lifts up, but because I'm sitting on it, it slams right back down. But somehow in that split second, my pinky gets in there. I come right down on my pinky. The show has started. And I swear to you, I'm sitting there. Andy Plagianos is to my right, like he is now. And I swear to you, I wanted to just grab, when you're in so much pain, you need to, I was tempted to just grab his shoulder. He's looking that way. He doesn't even see anything in his peripheral. Thank goodness, because I must have looked like a crying baby. I swear to God, you're in so much pain that you feel sick. Mm-hmm. And so I'm grabbing my pinky. I'm like, oh my God. And I was in pain for the rest of the night, and I'm going to show you guys my...
Be lucky you weren't on the toilet, because imagine what orifice would have been stuck out there.
That's true. Well...
You'd be hosting a show like this tonight.
That's not as big as my pinky, so the damage wouldn't have been as bad. So
probably wouldn't have got caught in the first place.
Exactly. We have to find it first. So here's the damage I did to my pinky. And I'm now going to show you guys. Yes, thank you. I like sympathy from Mo. That's good.
Aww.
Yeah, and now I'm starting to worry because there's so much blood right up there that the
nail's picking up.
The nail is picking up. Yes. So no, I'm not. I didn't get it.
Okay.
Yeah. So
screw that guy. We're not picking up the phone.
Yeah. So now I'm thinking it might be one of those situations where it's got to be drilled.
They got to burn a hole in it. Yeah.
Can I do it?
Oh, really?
Can I do it?
What do you think? What's your...
I got a hammer and a nail in the car. I'm sure we can make it work.
No. Like, I'll be all proper about it, but can I do it?
Have you done it before?
No.
She's going to come in with, an 1820s hand drill.
It's a painful thing. You realize that. Is that the attraction?
Drilling into the cuticle? It's going to hurt.
Well, I've done that. I've done it before. I once... I think the leg I used to have, I believe. I dropped something. I dropped something on it years ago, and sure enough, same thing. The blood build up underneath. Mm-hmm. A few hours went by. I took my shoe off to look at it, and it had blown up so bad that I couldn't even get the shoe back on. Went to the hospital. They don't know how this happened. They drilled it. Oh my goodness, it's pain. Have you guys ever?
No.
Oh, but what happened? But the blood didn't come out. So and then
it's anticlimactic.
So yeah.
Like most of his dating life.
Exactly, and we all of us, including them, were like, "What just happened?" So they had to do it again. And that's the second time, thank goodness. But it was the worst pain in the world. And then, as it starts to come out, the pain gets even worse. And believe me, I've had some pain, and I'm sure you guys have had it too. But this was like some of the worst pain. But then once it shoots out, the pain immediately is gone.
And the pressure's gone.
And it's like, it's almost orgasmic. And you're just like, oh. So speaking of orgasmic, you really want to do this. Do you have stuff with you right now to do this? We'll do it live on the air.
You want to do it live on the air?
Oh, I would do it live on the air. Absolutely, I would.
I don't know how the good people of Twitch would feel about that. That might
Oh,
be
that's
a little like,
I don't know.
inappropriate.
I don't know if we.
And I can't be involved because I don't need anybody taking away my license.
Before we go any further, I'm going to put you on hold for 1 second.
Okay.
What do you do in the medical profession?
I'm a nurse. I'm actually a wound care nurse. It's my job is to figure out how to fix people's boo-boos and how to prevent people from getting it.
What if people have the boo-boo GBs?
The boo-boo GBs. Well, there's a lot of people who don't seem to like what they look like. But
There
you
you
haven't
go.
lived till somebody's toes falling off in your hand, so that's pretty cool.
All right, that's pretty cool.
Actually, it's pretty gross, but that's besides the point.
Oh my goodness.
I didn't realize that leprosy was still a thing.
It's not that. It's not that gangrene and all that other nastiness. but-
Scurvy.
Scurvy. Love that word.
Wow.
Love that word.
So say that again. So you help them with the wound, figure out how to, that's a doctor though, isn't
I
it?
work in an inpatient facility, so I'll get a lot of people that are admitted with bed sores or vascular wounds or surgical wounds, and part of my job is to help figure out the planning and the process of how we're going to fix it. And then the other part of my job is to prevent people from developing wounds while they're inpatient.
So you would, discuss with
Bed sores are
them.
a big problem,
Right.
Our success rate is fantastic, but compared to national averages and stuff. But I'm bragging. But
That's all right.
So
No, that's
he's in Northwell. That's what it is.
no, not.
You're not
I
a
would
Catholic
brag.
elf?
I would brag about that too if I were you. Yeah.
I mean, it's it sounds selfish. I was telling somebody earlier, like when I first started in healthcare, I worked with dementia patients and stuff. I just felt it very unrewarding. With this role, I can literally measure from week to week the progress I make. I can actually see the difference I've made.
Sure.
And I guess I need that. I mean, maybe it's a little bit selfish to feel like I'm accomplishing something, but
I wouldn't call that selfish. Don't we all want to accomplish something?
Especially when it's, beneficial.
Sure.
But
Now-
thank God you have that high rating. What do they? Do they like audit you or?
yeah, part of more of my job is paperwork than anything, just because of like state audits and stuff like that.
A very good friend of mine is a charge nurse in a hospice wing. That, of course, became a COVID wing, and I have so much respect for everybody involved in that medical profession.
Absolutely.
For those past couple of years, that was like I just thank you. Thank you.
You're very
for
well.
that.
The whole state had a lot of respect for us, and then they started telling us you had to get a vaccine because you're useless and you're fired otherwise.
Yep.
So things changed a little bit at some point.
Yeah, true.
You're a hero. We don't need you anymore.
Well, yeah, that's unfortunately how they treat a lot of military too. So.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's very true. Police officers, there's a
Yep.
lot of. But thank God for people like you who absolutely served a purpose and kept all of us going.
Well,
Sometimes
and we can make this even better. He's also a fireman.
I was.
So, all right. Well,
volunteer
still
fireman,
counts.
EMT for 18 years. And then I went into healthcare and became a nurse. This is like a second career for me. I was in business and sales and retail for 20-something years, and then just reinvented myself. In my 30s.
Wow.
So.
Did you retire and then because you just
got tired of getting screwed over.
Really?
Sales is a shit industry.
Yeah.
And
it takes a certain. It's not for everybody.
I had no problem. I think, and the fact that I did 20 years in sales actually, I think, helps with my nursing because I can have that communicative skill.
Okay.
I can talk to people and I can understand that, and I also understand it's a business to an extent.
Mm-hmm.
But it took years of getting screwed over by boss after boss after boss after boss that I was finally like, I'm not doing this anymore.
Screwed without a kiss, right? Wow, that's really something. And how long ago was that? Did you?
I've been a nurse about 10 years now.
Was that? I mean, all right. So you just turned 50.
Correct.
So all right. So around the age of 40, wife, kids.
I was 38 with a wife, 2 kids, and 3 part-time jobs, and went to school full time.
Oh wow!
So, I tell people all the time, if I can get through that and do it, there's no reason why a lot of people can't.
Sure.
My wife would wake me up in the morning, face down on the keyboard and the computer keyboard.
Right.
Little prints in my head, but
wow.
I did it. Here I am.
And that's, but like you said, a lot of people can do it, but they don't, especially when you're settled like that. So kudos to you, man. I'm impressed.
And now we're foraying into comedy. Yeah.
Yes. All right. So yeah, foray into comedy. So I'm gonna get right into this.
Uh-oh.
I felt really bad for you on New Year's. I had to bring that. Is that all right that I bring that up?
That's fine. That's kind of what I've been joking about. How I was already on the show, but nobody had the guts to say my name.
Yes. Well, it not that we didn't have the guts. We just didn't want to.
No, it was okay.
We didn't want to make it look like we were making fun.
Oh, I started texting sending messages to Hugh and them. I'm like, you guys can't drop my name on the air for God's. This guy was up there for 5 minutes. He didn't even know what the hell was going on.
So we'll explain. So they had the show in the Giggle Room on New Year's Eve. Mike Keegan was producing, and the good producer that he is, he wasn't even here. And so Hugh, he had another show in Pennsylvania. Hugh Murray was hosting. Hugh Murray was basically put in charge since Mike wasn't here. And I felt bad for Hugh also. It was not... It wasn't one of the best crowds.
Right, it started late.
It started very late.
They were like, we were in the back, like as they were setting up, and you could hear people loud in the lobby.
Right.
Like, and we're sitting there, and I'm like, they're like pissed out there.
Yes.
They're like, what are you talking about? And then I'm like, and then is that people yelling? I'm like, yes,
Yeah.
that's what I'm talking about. They're like, let us in, what the hell?
Right.
You know?
You had Anthony you had an early show in the Giggle Room.
Right.
You had, which I believe also may have run late a little bit, I think.
That was Butera's show. That went
Right.
late, supposedly.
Right.
And then
you had Anthony Rodia in the big
and
room.
then they had to set that room up, I guess.
Right. So that's the thing. So Rodia always sells out, or at least comes close to selling out. So you had people lined up outside to get in there. You had people lined up for the Giggle Room, and again, with everything running late, so that made it even more a bigger crowd. And it was raining, and it's New Year's. It was cold. People were pissed. They finally come in. Hugh finally gets to start the show, but right from the get-go, they were yelling. I mean, he didn't even introduce a comedian yet, and he had a few people yelling at him while he's on stage. So it did not get off to a good start. One lady, he told us on the air, one lady even called him a gap-tooth retard.
That was the hat lady. That was the hat lady. She was like, she kept going the whole show. She was talking and talking and talking, and then eventually, like, people were getting frustrated.
Yeah.
So, like, when I finally did my time and Peter Hirsch goes up there, I'm sitting there in the back, and nobody's really called her out on it. So I'm like, shut up! In the background, like, people are saying, no. Then I'm watching them getting ready to leave, and some lady's, like, shaking the balloons, and she's trying to throw balloons at the lady. So I'm like, here's a cup. I handed her a glass, and I walked out, like you know.
Yeah.
But,
well, even that too, right? Then
Yeah.
they tried
She did that.
they tried to release the balloons at midnight, and it didn't work.
Oh God!
It was like a big balloon sausage hanging from the ceiling, and I
Right.
guess they figured the plastic bag would rip open and they'd all fall, but instead they pulled it, and the whole friggin' sausage whacked a group of people in the head. Yeah, it was pretty friggin' funny.
So
It was.
So now now Hugh is thrown off because he tried to time it just right based on starting at a particular time, how much time each comedian has. He wanted to time it just right so that he's up there at midnight when the ball's dropping, because they had the screens up and the ball was going to drop.
Olga was supposed to be the headliner, and then I guess it was supposed to be me, and then they were going to go to that. But then Olga brought Tess, girl named Tess with her, another
Right.
comedian with her.
Yeah.
So they popped Tess into the set, which pushed me back further.
Right.
So Tess went where I guess I would have been. So now I get up there. I had no clue what time it was at this point. I was just like, this is just, like getting nuts.
Right.
So the test comes down. They're like, okay, you're going up there. And next thing I'm up on stage. I got my quote unquote 6 minutes. And like 3.5 minutes in, I'm like seeing a light. I'm like, holy crap. Like I'm nowhere into my set at this point.
Right.
And then I'm like, I'm sitting up there. All of a sudden I'm noticing like the wait staff's coming around. They're pouring everybody's drinks out. The TVs are turning on. I'm like, oh Jesus, what the? Now I'm realizing it's freaking midnight.
Yeah, yeah.
So I wound up doing I think 4.5 minutes.
Yeah, I was told it was around 11:55, 11:56 when you went up, and yeah, a lot of the comedians said they even said to each other as they're hanging out, like,
yeah, Dan was
why
thinking about it.
why is he going up there? What time is it? Does he? So, yeah, so you poor bastard, you had to get interrupted and cut short for
It's an experience.
It was definitely an
like I said to
experience.
everybody, I said it's definitely something I'll never forget because my wife's not going to let me forget it. She's not going to let me forget the fact that she sat in the rain for an hour and change waiting to get to see me for 4.5 minutes. I'm never going to hear the end of that.
So you were up there, you see all this going on. So what? You just looked at your watch and realized I got to go off, or did Hugh come up and take you off?
I knew it was close. Hugh flashed me, like I said, at like 3.5 minutes, and I knew, roughly how long my ending joke was. So I finished what I was doing, went to that final joke, and then
Oh,
came on
okay.
stage. So I mean, it worked out. But like, you know, I think like Hugh was saying on the show, I think he got up there was like maybe a minute to spare before the ball was going to drop.
Yes, yeah.
It was tight.
But it's all right. So it sounds like you handled it like a pro, though. So you knew you got lit. You went right into your ending joke.
Yeah, I didn't go over or anything like that.
Right.
I mean, I knew.
And you didn't even say, "Oh my," you know, I'm being tossed off. Like you just,
Yeah, this
you
is
know,
a bunch of crap. No.
Right. Yeah. Right. Throw the mic.
I got it, Hugh. Don't worry about it. Take care. Been doing this 4 months. I got it under my belt.
Paying your dues.
God,
Paying your dues.
Whatever. It's an
Wow.
experience. It's an experience. This has all been an experience so far. It's just, you know, a lot to learn and I guess get the gist of.
And I believe, and then again, poor Hugh, he had to continue the show after midnight, and I think the show went another hour or something, and nobody's people are
I
done.
think it was after me was supposed to be Peter Hirsch, and then I think then Carla, and Bossy, and Olga.
Oh,
there was 4 other comedians after that.
Bossy went up after midnight?
He went up, yeah.
Oh, wow.
I think he was right before or right after Carla. I forget the exact order. But yeah, there was like 4 more comedians after midnight. That's how late we started.
Right. Yeah, I think it was, just about 11 when the show started, right?
Yeah, because, I mean, the doors, it said doors open at 9:15. Show was supposed to start at 10:15. The doors didn't even open until like 10:30.
Right.
You know,
Right.
Which, explains why people were a little upset.
Wow.
I just blamed it all on Butera. He made his show go late, so we'll blame it on him.
Oh, we always, blame whatever we can on John. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, even something he had nothing to do with. Like I blame this on him. He wasn't there.
I had made a joke at work. We always do that at work. That you always have that person you're going to blame things on. I wanted to get a big bowl with every employee name in it, and at the beginning of the day, pull out a name, and that's the person we get to blame all day.
Okay.
Nobody ever wants to take it seriously.
Oh, that's a good idea. I like it. I like it. It's like team building. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's more like what is it? A Survivor, where somebody gets voted off the island.
Yes.
This is the person who gets a pay cut today.
Let's see, Andrew Fremder. It wouldn't have happened if your pinky was in better shape. That's why I do pinky push-ups. Danny Corrado says, Doc, which was more fulfilling, nursing or firefighting?
I'd probably say the firefighting was more fun. More adrenaline seeking, whatnot, because I'm a bit of adrenaline junk, and I love that.
Less paperwork.
A lot less paperwork. But that was all volunteer, so that was, a different type of rewarding.
And I know you like the rush. You recently, I don't know if it was recent, but I saw a picture on Facebook where you were skydiving.
Mm-hmm.
How is that a 50-year-old
well, I
gift?
did it again for 50. That was my 3rd time jumping.
Oh, wow. 3rd time.
Like every 5 years for my birthday, I tend to do something like eventful, memorable, whatever crazy. So 30 was the first time I went skydiving.
Wow.
For 35, I climbed Mount Washington.
Oh, wow.
For my 40th, I did the zip line course at Hunter Mountain in the Catskills.
Okay.
45, I went parasailing. And then for 50, my goal was to go shark diving.
Oh, wow.
But my father said for years he wanted to go skydiving, and I broke his chops. Never did it. And then all of a sudden, right before COVID, he's like, "Do you still want to go skydiving?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, I got a deal down by me." So my father, the year I turned 48, the year my dad turned 78, him and I went skydiving together. Which was just awesome.
Yeah.
And then last year, the year my one daughter was turning 18, my other daughter was turning 21, I was turning 50, and my father was going to be turning 80, and the 4 of us went together, which was pretty cool.
That's very
so
cool.
My father, his 2 granddaughters, and his son all went skydiving together,
Wow.
which was pretty cool.
Are you an adrenaline junkie too, like that? Or is it just
limits? That's the thing. I don't think I could do skydiving, and not because I know me, and I did that daredevil drop thing at Six Flags.
Oh,
you know, where like you're tethered to a cord, and then they pull you up 150
And they let
feet,
you
and then
go.
you plummet to the earth.
Yes.
Right. Suffice to say that I'm glad that I did it once. I have excellent admiration for anyone who could handle,
But
you know,
never
really.
again.
Nope. I'll go on the biggest, baddest roller coaster you got, because at least I'm strapped into
Sure.
the thing, and you know you can fire it. Just, I've gone storm chasing, you know, like
Oh, really?
stuff like
That's
that.
cool.
You knew that.
I did know that.
You
yes.
did know that.
Yes.
Where are your notes? Bring back your old notes. This This is why you
He
need
doesn't have his
somebody to keep
glasses on.
track
He wouldn't
of
be able to
you.
read them anyway.
Yeah, that's true. I was going to ask what traveling have you done recently, so I remembered that much.
Oh, okay. Well, nothing overly adventurous. Actually, so far, the only traveling I've done was to and from the different high school and elementary schools for winter concert cacophony season. And then my daughter did All County also. So thank God that's on hold now. And now I just have to wait until the spring concert, and then maybe I could start to reclaim some piece of my life. I don't have athletes. I don't go all over the place with them, but I have performers. So
That's cool.
You know, it's
Been there, done that.
mathletes. I have a mathlete. What the hell?
Well,
I'm so proud.
well, when it comes to scholarship time, you'll be all right with it.
Yeah. I can't even with these kids. So actually the most adventurous thing that we did was yesterday we took the humans and I took Jen Lentini and Dana McAllister, and we did a room escape right here in Levittown actually.
Oh, very nice.
Yes.
Did you, and you made it out?
We made it out.
In how much time?
3 minutes left.
Oh, nice.
But normally the kids and I can do it in, you know.
Yeah, but you're not really locked in there. What's the adrenaline part of it, you know?
It's more team building skills with me and my children. We team build. That's it. I have 2 tween-age daughters. I don't know how else to connect with them because I'm not going to start playing these games that they play, and I can't. Meaning like, you know, going like this and being like, oh look, I have a ultra neon super rare sparkly Empire penguin that I'm like I don't.
Yeah, I'm with you.
You have no idea what I'm even talking about.
I know you're talking about gaming, but everything you just said, no clue.
Yeah, neither do I.
No clue. But I knew she was
How
talking
old
about
are your
gaming.
kids?
They're 21 and 18.
Okay, so you have like grown-ups. I still have the I ruin their life at any given moment.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I've already done that. I've
Yeah.
succeeded at destroying both their lives.
Okay.
You know.
Oh, so there is another side to this.
Well, yeah, the one hates me and probably always will, and then the other one, she's still learning to hate me. But
Yeah, I was going to say there is. Yeah, so far I haven't. My kids are in. Both of them are in their 20s. I haven't seen another side of this yet. It still goes into their 20s. So yeah, you still have years of this. Yes.
eventually they
Yes.
forgive you, I guess. That's my understanding.
Well, they're gonna want my inheritance at some point. So.
Exactly.
True.
Is there a lot in that inheritance?
At this time, I'm not allowed to legally disclose any information, especially not on a media type platform.
There you
For
go.
Sugar mama, right? Tony.
I have my own sugar mama. We're good.
Nice. Danny, mathletes get super cool once they get into an Ivy League and are making 6 figures. Exactly.
Yeah, well, I'm going to start a GoFundMe to get through. I already had one kid be like, "Oh, so Harvard." I'm like, "What the hell is wrong with you?" No, you're gonna go. You're going to Nassau Community College. You're gonna do like the rest of us did. You're going to Nassau.
How dare you try to succeed?
As if it makes a big difference these days anyway, right?
Yeah, true.
Degrees.
Yeah.
Everything's online anyway. So I would be thrilled if one of my kids was like, "I want to do a trade, and I'll do whatever other business courses or whatever."
Absolutely.
else online.
Nothing wrong with that, man.
You
Nothing
know,
wrong with that
like,
at all.
I would be absolutely thrilled if they did.
Right.
But even then, the amount of money you spend on a degree from, let's say, Harvard versus, let's say, going to Binghamton. I mean, you're pretty much
Binghamton?
gonna Binghamton.
Is
You're
that next to
probably gonna be.
Binghamton?
I
You're
was
gonna
sitting-
get a job anyway.
I swear to you, I'm sitting there thinking to myself, did he say Binghamton or did I hear that
Hey,
wrong?
it's my speech.
Oh, great. Now we're making
Wow.
fun of the firefighter nurse stutterer.
Exactly. I'm offended now. This is it's 2023. You guys aren't supposed to pick on people like me.
Well, they can cancel us. I can use the exposure on the show. So.
Yeah, right.
Now we're back to exposure on the show. Oh, God.
Oh, I'm always trying to expose myself.
Any bad press is good press.
Exactly, exactly. So but you're right. Because it's the degrees don't really seem to mean anything anymore, and plus, there's really no such thing as a career anymore. People like from the employer's end, everybody's a contract that everybody gets there's no reason to stay at one job anymore. Nobody's building up pensions anymore. Healthcare we're paying for ourselves. So there's really you can jump from job to job all the time.
Yeah, and you're not more marketable based on where your degree's from, except for maybe from some small niche group of people.
Right.
The majority of people aren't going to care. You got the degree.
Yep.
And I don't know, the amount of money you spend on a college degree these days Makes no sense to me.
So basically, you're saying you did the same thing. You sent your kids in Nassau Community.
No, I have one in Binghamton and one at
Binghamton.
Exactly, and one in Hofstra.
Oh, nice.
You know, I mean, they're both good schools.
Yeah, they are.
but
Binghamton.
they're not-
I had friends who went to Binghamton. They loved it. Yeah.
Binghamton. Binghamton. I'm never going to call it anything else ever again. Binghamton.
That's like people
started
say.
a thing.
Yeah, you started a thing. I don't know what that thing is, but you started it.
Like
People say struggling, but they say struggling, but it's struggling.
one of my friends, her mom is Romanian, and she was so excited. She planned a family vacation, and she said, "Christina, we are going to go to Niagara Falls."
Oh wow!
So now I just refer to it as Niagara.
How does she pronounce a lot of these Long Island towns?
Oh God, I don't even.
Yeah, that would be fun. Just sit with her one night, just give her the spelling.
Just we should just line people up who English is their second language, like from all different countries, and we'll just have them pronounce Quag, Yabank.
But even just people from upstate New York versus downstate New York.
Right.
You know?
Yep.
You know, I only recently started doing TikTok and Instagram and that stuff, and I hated my kids like shoving their phones in my face. Oh, Dad, look at this, whatever. But then you go on there and you watch some of these videos, and they have kids that'll do that. They'll say, "Oh, this is my roommate from Missouri or whatever. She's gonna read the names of these towns from Long Island," and they're like, Patchagoo.
Yep.
Patchagoo.
Yep.
You know, like trying to say these Indian names.
Syosset.
So, Native American names. I'm sorry.
Right.
Don't want to get canceled.
Over that. Exposure is fine.
Yes.
Nothing. We're only perverts for ourselves. We do not hate other people. We do not hate other people based on gender or sexual preference or nationality.
People just need to freaking lighten up. Look, there's stereotypes that are bad. There are stereotypes that come from somewhere. You know, I'm married to a Jewish woman. She's not cheap. She's thrifty. Okay. And that comes from somewhere. You know, I'm German, I'm English, I'm Irish, I'm Scottish. I like to drink, I like to fight, I'm loud, I'm obnoxious, I'm stubborn. I have all those typical traits.
You like to fight, really?
Well, not as much as I used to, but
really,
I used to. But like you know, there's different. I keep trying to tell my kids that so they get it. You know, my one daughter, you drop the R word, you say retarded, forget it. She will jump through a window and freak out at you. The other daughter, she just could care less. Nothing bothers her.
Right.
But you know, there's a difference between making a stereotypical joke. That's one that population would make about themselves because it's a true fact or a true trait versus saying something that's just completely ludicrous and asinine to be mean or derogatory or whatever.
Right.
So, now everything's offensive. You need to be able to recognize the difference there.
No, I agree 100%.
I don't know.
It's, and I mean, I see a lot of people are posting these videos of, you know, getting yelled at or even attacked at a comedy club, but I thankfully haven't seen it here. This seems like one of the few places where you can come in and still say that. I mean, people are coming here to laugh, and they, and a lot of that stuff, it's just not going on here because you can, like Don Rickles type humor, you can still thankfully do that here. I love that stuff, Don Rickles.
If you're gonna come to a comedy club and get offended, you shouldn't be going in the first place.
Right.
But it's out there, and people are afraid just to talk about things.
Right.
You know, I pointed out. Was it last week? Well, the last show I did, I pointed out that there was multiple people on the set that were African American or of color, and we also had a couple of females, trans, bi, and it was probably the best mix. Like normally it's like a bunch of white guys, maybe one black person, and a gay person, or so on and so forth. And this was a really good mix. But the fact that I pointed it out was like an uncomfortable thing. Like, oh, jeez, like, you know.
Right, because they don't know where you're going with it. They don't know what you're going to say. People get nervous.
Awesome. This is great. There's a lot of color in this room. There's a lot of variety in this room. This is awesome. This is great. But when you bring it up and point it out, everybody like cringes.
Right. And even just within the past few weeks, there was a show in the Giggle Room. I don't remember what it was called, but it was something like, you know, Women of Comedy or Women something.
There was a Bad Moms thing or something.
Right. And that upsets me. Not the people doing the show. It upsets me, though, that we have to have this, like, it has to be even mentioned. Like you said, there should be more shows where it's just a mixture of white, black, women, whatever. And it's And again, I'm not knocking them for putting that show on. But it's just a sad statement that we have to point these things out.
In defense of the female produced shows and such like that. Just addressing that one specific show that you just mentioned.
Okay.
There is. We know that comedy is a very male-dominated thing. It's entertainment. It's male-dominated. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that. I'm just mentioning it for the point of how important it is to other female comedians, especially the new ones, the new up-and-coming female comedians. It is so much more comfortable for them to perform in an environment where they are surrounded by other women. Everything's kind of on the same the same level, all that other stuff. So you throw somebody who is a firecracker like Laura Patton in there, or Allison Persky is very up-and-coming, and then
Kristen Danko.
Kristen
is one
Danko
of them, right?
is also, and these are all new female comedians who are trying to navigate their way through something where the formula that works for entertainment in comedy is very clear. ABC gets you laugh at D. And I know we're all trying to put our own spin on it, and some people have the gift and some people don't have the gift. You obviously have the gift, or else you wouldn't be here, with us. See, look at me. I'm
nice.
I'm good.
I
I'm
figured.
good. But
learned that from my wife.
But there was an absolute benefit to a show specific to the bad moms of comedy, because
I agree, because that's a niche show that gives a niche group an opportunity to work with each other,
and we show up and we support each other.
So.
I couldn't be there, but I'm friends with all those ladies, and it is outstanding what can be done. And if you want more colorful, diverse shows, New York City is 40 minutes away from the train right now, from here. So, and that is really where you're going to find a lot of that's where all the diversity is.
Yes.
Long Island is looking for Long Island stuff.
I see what you're saying, but I'd rather, again, it's sad that it has to be even pointed out. I wish it could just be more diverse all the time, like the city. I'd rather, like you mentioned, all being with your peers, having that comfort level. I'd rather see it where it's a whole bunch of up-and-comers to make them feel comfortable. And if and then what makes them uncomfortable is not being in a male-dominated field, but just being an up-and-comer. But I'm walking in doing a show with Carrie Karavis and Chris Monty and all these guys that are on a different level. I wish the whole color, race, didn't matter. Yeah, and you're right. Like I said, I was just in the comic strip live just last night, and walking in, and one of the first things you see, they have all these headshots. I mean, the comic strip live is the longest running club in the city, but it's the second longest running club in the whole country.
Well, now that there's no more Carolines,
right? So they have all sorts of headshots going back to the late 70s up on their walls. And yeah, it's definitely like you can't single out white men or black men, women as being more than another. It was to me it was just a bunch of comedians, and which when you have a conversation like this, I find that refreshing and happy. That's a good thing.
Yeah. Like you said, though, it's sad it even has to come up. I mean,
right.
And I know that some of my views and some of my jokes are definitely edgy for some people.
That's the way it should be.
But that's my whole point is that you got to be able to pick on each other. We got to be. The fire department was a great example. Back then, around the firehouse, nothing's untouchable.
Right.
I used to give a disclaimer to all the new guys. It's like, I don't care if you're white, black, green, orange, like boys, girls, or sheep. We're gonna pick on you.
Yep.
And that's the way it is. Nothing is untouchable.
And you mentioned liking the fight. I mean, I have my comedy troupe. We do these murder mysteries.
Oh, they're fun.
Oh, they're so much fun.
They're so much fun.
And fire departments. They're usually my favorite because, like you said, I mean, you can go anywhere, and they're fun, they're loud. But I also can't tell you, I've lost track of how many fire departments were in the middle of the show, a fight breaks out between the firemen running this thing.
Yeah, no doubt.
But by the time the show is over, everybody's happy and buddies again, like nothing happened.
Yep.
It's the craziest thing to me. And I mean, sometimes we've had to stop the show because these guys are beating the living shit out of each other.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I get that bad, but
it's happened.
Been a long time.
Miller Place Fire Department. I'll never forget it. One of the worst fights I've ever seen. Nice. And we had to stop the show.
Yeah,
then
I probably actually know who was in that fight too.
Really? Yeah.
So,
it was him.
No, it wasn't.
Right. I knew you looked familiar.
That's pretty funny.
Worst ass kicking you've ever gotten?
Ooh.
Worst ass kicking I ever gotten probably came from my dad. Honestly,
that's why I like to fight. You think of your dad when you're fighting.
It's sad if you think about that. Whacked me with a 2x4 once.
Come on.
Yeah. You know what's funny though is I look back, like I hated him for all that stuff, and now I look back after raising kids and looking at kids these days, and now I'm just like, wow, he had such restraint.
Really?
I deserved every one of those beatings, and
and he only used that 2x4 once.
It wasn't like he picked it up and went to hit me. He had it in his,
Oh yeah, that's
swing
better.
at me with it.
So so the skydiving, you're like, the first, like, yeah, like. Was there like a pin in the?
We're gonna die of something,
Like, oh, you survived that one. Great, Dad. Let's try it again.
Well, I one of my jokes I do is about how I want to die tragically. I say that I want to die in a way that everybody's gonna remember. And if somebody said to you 20 years from now, "What's the name of that guy you worked with that died of a heart attack or cancer?" You're not gonna remember. Everybody dies of that crap.
Right.
But if somebody said, "What was the name of that guy you used to work with that was on that hiking trip and he got chased by the bear, went off that 200-foot cliff into a raging river where he was swept out into the ocean and eaten by sharks? What was that guy's name?" Oh, that was Brian. I remember Brian.
Right.
It's true. You want to go in a way everybody's going to remember.
So is that what you're hoping for? What you just described, that whole scenario?
Yeah, something like that.
Good thing you just started Instagram because you could take pictures all the way.
Exactly.
And then, you have a million followers.
Yeah, that joke changes every once in a while. Remember, who was the name of that guy that got ass raped by that escaped gorilla from the zoo or something like that? There's always some mix to it. But
why does everyone always make jokes about gorillas escaping from zoos and raping people?
I don't know.
I've never seen it actually
Sounds
happen
racist,
in real
actually.
life.
Now that you say it.
It sounds Zewish. Bing 'em a 10.
Something in it.
Have you looked for gorillas ass raping videos? Like,
man, come on, they're the hot trend on the internet. It's like a TikTok thing.
Magilla ass raping. Yeah.
No, I'm not a
Magilla
huge
gorilla, grape
fan
ape.
of
Those are my two
outwardly
favorites.
looking for violent sex crimes. I'm pretty good on that. I don't know if you could tell from the previous conversation. I'm a little like, yeah, stand up for all vaginas and non-vaginas, but
I stand up for all vaginas.
There you go. Jeez.
Depends on what it looks like. Sometimes it'll stand up, sometimes it won't.
I'm not that picky.
Take it where you can get it, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
God, help me.
We're bald and on our 50s. Yeah. We can't get picky. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh God.
You started it.
I All right, so what else we got in the notes?
Well, that was an uncomfortable silence.
So all right, so let's go with the usual stuff. What's the history? Like, what made you get into comedy?
Probably the fact that I'm mentally ill like every other comedian I know.
Yep.
Honestly.
Yeah.
No, I've always been an idiot. I've always goofed around. I've always joked. I always loved telling stories. I your typical Leo, I guess, like to be the center of attention and whatever. And honestly, I'm pretty much a miserable guy a lot of the time.
Oh, wow.
But like, I just love to perform and present and behave a certain way sometimes. And,
have you ever done any? Like, have you ever acted or do you sing? Like, have you ever been on stage before? No, wow.
Oh,
most stage work I ever did was doing fire prevention. That's about it.
Oh, okay. 2 seconds. From there, I am denying that last. Sometimes if a comment comes in that's really kind of racy, this program, or I don't know if it's Twitch or this program, gives me the option to not let it be seen.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, Andrew Fremder said something about the gorilla rape. And yeah, I'm sorry, Fremder. That one's not staying.
Yeah, we're just gonna.
Do you see it?
No.
Oh, I'll tell you.
I know
I'll tell you
Andrew
later.
Fremder.
Oh, now I want to know.
Great guy.
I'll tell you after.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, Fremder.
Tell him to send me a friend request. Then I gotta hang out.
Oh, yeah. He's right up your alley.
Request.
Yeah,
Friend.
but you also like to fight, and sometimes he sends out some real cringy stuff. So
Yeah.
so since you like to fight, we'd love to see you beat him up. Yeah. In a loving way.
I don't want to say I like to fight. I used to like to fight when I was younger.
And then you hang out with him in person, and he's such a nice guy.
He is a
He's
super
such a
sweet
nice
guy. Yes, he really is. But he still deserves a smack sometimes for the jokes.
I think everybody deserves a smack sometimes.
Yeah, you're right about that. So did you take a class or anything, or did you just started writing your stuff down and that was it?
You know, I mean, my life has been a joke for so long. It's, you know, I could sit and it's weird. Like my buddy came to see me the other night and he was like, "Oh, this should be easy for you. You're always like that." And I'm like, "But it's really not, because the way I joke, I normally tell a long-winded, lengthy story, and you can't do that on stage.
No.
You know, you tell me I got 6, 7, 8 minutes, I'm going to try to get as much in as possible, and it's chopping and chopping and chopping and chopping.
Yep, that's it.
But you know, and it works. It makes people laugh. But it's not like natural to me to do it that way.
Right.
You know, obviously I have no problem talking. I mean, that's the easiest part, but trying to get it, you know, done. Will you shut up? My God.
It's like, I like to talk, and she's like nodding. Yeah, he won't shut the fuck up, this guy.
He invited me.
Absolutely.
And I invited myself.
Well, you have an open invite, you know that, and now you do too. You're part of the family.
You can cut me off like every other woman in my life. My daughters, my wife, everybody.
All right, do you want like
Talk
the routing
over me.
number as to where the support should be deposited then?
It's a good try. Nice try.
Hey, what can I say? I'm a single mother of 2 amazing daughters who I know sometimes the moms go out and they look for like the mom friends. I love hanging out with the boys. I just always have.
Do.
Like, as long as they're respectful and respectable and, you know.
Yeah, but no, I'm going to disagree with you on that one, because you're sitting, at least right here, I'm not that respectable.
You're respectable.
Yeah?
Yeah, you're respectable in that kind of like, I lend
face.
you money and I'm sure I get it back.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm sure I'd get it back.
Absolutely.
Would I leave you alone with my children? I leave you alone with my dog.
Oh, that's preferred, you know, because I don't like kids. No, I'm
You don't
kidding.
like
I'm
kids?
kidding.
No, that's all good. But
I gave birth. I didn't give birth. But
I
I had
gave
kids.
birth.
I had kids just for child labor. That's the only reason we bring them into
That's
this
what I
world.
say all the time.
Absolutely.
The only reason why I had kids.
That's it.
See, no, and I had to get flipping academics, who I have to invest for years and years and years to see any kind of a potential return. And watch, she goes to Harvard and she ends up being some kind of a basket weaver. Working at like farmers markets. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
True. But
Several
that,
$100,000.
Yeah, just for the Harvard.
Exactly.
You can go to Nassau to be the basket weaver at the farmer markets, and I will be just as proud of you. I have a liberal arts degree. I can say that.
Yeah. How do you find the Long Island comedy community so far?
Interesting. I mean, I've made
Good
some
answer.
really good relationships with some people.
Nice.
I think that it's definitely very segregated by, like, even just going Nassau to Suffolk County. You know, there's like cliquey groups of people for sure.
Yeah.
And I think I aggravated a few people towards the get-go by certain things I did and said. But,
Really?
well, like online, my name is the funniest Brian Paul. All right, and apparently that pissed some people off, from what I understand, because people were like, why the hell are you calling yourself the funniest if you've been here?
Wait,
for
unless one of them was also named Brian Paul.
Well, that's the point.
Exactly.
I'm not the
Right.
funniest
Right.
comedian. I'm not the tallest Brian Paul or the most handsome Brian Paul, but I might be the funniest Brian Paul, and that's where it came from. But I
Right.
guess that rubbed some people the wrong way.
Oh my goodness.
So
You know what?
whatever. It's fine. I get it.
I admire that you
So-
came out into this game inexperienced and completely balls out and
Yeah.
just looking forward to kicking its ass.
Yeah,
It is.
absolutely right.
You know, things like that. You know, there's definitely personalities, and there's definitely, you know, I mean, things that people had told me were gonna happen happened. You know, I put online one day that I brought 20 people to a show, and next thing you know, every freaking producer's like messaging me, "Oh, hey, you want to be on my show? Hey, you want to be on my show?"
Yeah, but that's
This guy and that guy, and everybody's like, "Yeah, you don't want to work for that guy."
Did anybody like you said, people told you stuff that did happen?
Mm-hmm.
Were any of those warnings, were any of those things warnings about like Jeff Bosey hitting on you or anything like that?
No, I was actually told to look out for it and how to respond. So if
right.
he did grab my ass, I was told to go for the reach round.
Right.
Apparently he likes that.
Big time.
I
How come he gets the reach around advice and I get the spray bottle advice when it comes to Bosey?
I wouldn't. But I wouldn't.
I think I'm getting off a little bit easier on that. Then.
But you don't have the parts that Bosey would be reaching for.
It could be that.
I think it's kind of like a take what you can get.
Oh. And you were just told to, a spray bottle.
Naughty,
Yeah,
that's if you wanted to get rid of him.
Oh, okay.
And we're talking if
the reach around. That keeps it all going.
Take
the reach
to the
around.
next level.
Yeah,
That's how Tony hurt his finger.
Right. Bosey was there last night at the comic strip. Yeah.
Got that pinky right up.
Yeah.
I never realized people actually tolerated it.
It's actually it smells like Bosey now that you mention.
It smells more like barbecue over here.
Barbecue.
Fire.
You're a manly man. That's what I like to smell like barbecue all the time.
I love barbecue.
Some folks have delicate egos, also known as small dick energy. Oh my goodness.
Small dick energy.
Small dick energy.
I have small dick energy.
Sounds like a Mike Tansey line.
Mike Tangi's cool. I like Mike.
He does that. Yeah, he does that bit where he says this girl said she was looking for a guy with big dick energy, and he said, "Would you suffer for small dick enthusiasm?"
The first time I met Tangi was doing a show here, and he went up before me, and it was one of those Truson class graduation shows. So it was the first night we met, and before we went up, it was just hi, how you doing? I'm Mike. I'm Tony. Good to meet you. Good luck. All that stuff. We really didn't get into anything yet because there was 800 of us back here anyway. He goes up and he has a bit about a one-legged girl. I think it's a one-legged girl. Mm-hmm. And so I'm listening. I'm like, oh, this is fucking great. So I go on about, I think, like 3 or 4 people later, and I go into my whole one-legged joke stuff. And so sure enough, threw it in. Did you hear that guy before with the one-legged jokes? And the audiences always love the callbacks. I mean, regardless of what you say, they love the callbacks. So that alone, they started to laugh. But then I yelled, fuck him. And they just, the place went. And then I said something, because at the time, he's got that big beard now, right? Does he still have it? He didn't have it at the time. It was still closely shaven. And so I said something, and he's dressed nice. And I said something about being in a boy band or something. And it was one of my better moments. And so I came off the stage. So now me and him have that bond. So he's a good guy. I like Mike.
Yeah, no, Mike is good people.
But is he the funniest?
He is the funniest Mike Tansey.
He probably is the funniest Mike Tansey.
He might be the only Mike Tansey. I've never heard that name, Tansey.
It's true.
Yeah. Is that your real name, Brian Paul?
No.
It's not. You're wanted by the law?
No, but being a New York State licensed, certified, professional individual, I tried to keep my last name off of it because I make a lot of nursing jokes that are really kind of off color.
Oh, okay, okay, that's why. All right. It's not the fact that you're doing comedy; it's just the fact of what you're saying.
I was gonna just do first name, last name, and then thinking about some of the things like I talk about nursing and I talk about I don't know, just like people being do not resuscitates, and me wanting to tell people that are 95 years old to just get it over with. And, it's true. So I was like, maybe I should be a bit more.
You're 95. You had a good run. Just close your eyes.
I just don't know. Look, I understand that it's tough to let go of your family member. I totally get that.
Yeah, sure.
But do you really want me to do CPR and bring back your 95-year-old father who has bone cancer? Okay, and if he has a heart attack and dies, it's over with. Or I can do CPR on him and possibly bring him back so that if he does survive, he can live in agonizing pain for the next few years while he dies of bone cancer.
But we all deserve that chance to be chased by the bear and ass raped before we die, so people remember us. So bring him back and then throw him into the woods.
I just feel so, it's tough. It's tough, you want to tell people that, what are you thinking? But it's hard to let go of a family member. At the same time, do you really want to put them through that? I don't know. Teach his own.
So I appreciate you reaching out to me when I was having stump issues, but if I'm dying, you're not the guy to reach out to.
Well, it depends on how old you are and what kind of shape you're in.
And how you're dying.
Yeah, what does your outlook look like?
Well, if you're careening, being chased by a cocaine-infused bear into a raging rapid that's about to go over Niagara Falls,
Niagara Falls.
I would not necessarily call Brian for that,
Right.
just because you would be stealing his thunder.
Exactly.
He would find some way to hide your body and make sure he was the only victim.
I never said cocaine doped up bear. Though.
I'm just excited to see that.
Although
movie.
now that we're in the comedy field, a cocaine doped up bear does make more sense.
No, there's a movie coming out, Cocaine Bear.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes!
Yes. I saw the trailer for this too. Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. These bears get they stumble upon it. Are they
Like
going?
a drop of just
Oh, that was it.
hundreds of pounds of coke in the
Yeah.
middle
This
of
is by the same
whatever
people who
the
did
forest.
Sharknado or something.
Yeah,
It
probably.
might be,
Yeah.
but holy shit, what a cinematic gem this one will be.
Oh wow.
So that is a way to go. But again, you wouldn't want to have to share the glory. Like, I'm sure you want to be a solo devastational non-survivalist.
Oh, that's a good title.
Wow.
So yeah, you made this career switch into healthcare. So the next switch could be the next career.
Destinational non.
We have midwives that help bring people into the world. Why not?
Well, right. I wear everybody's combo. I have a shirt that I wore on stage the other day. It says "Legalize assisted suicide now," which I firmly believe in. But everybody's like, "Oh my God, I want that shirt." So that's what I'll do. I'll be the online Dr. Kevorkian, I guess.
Right.
This is one of those things I'm not going to project on for my own life or for other people I might have to take care of with this, because I don't know. I don't know how I feel about unnecessary suffering versus I don't even know how to do that with my pets. Like, I can't even.
And that's the point of it. Like, my dog a year ago, was having trouble breathing. We brought her to the vet. They tell her she's got lung cancer, and we could do A, B, C, D, E, F, G. But the overall outcome's going to be poor. It's going to cost a fortune. The dog is going to go through all this torture and the whole 9 yards. So you don't do it. You know that the humane thing to do is to just, but like when it comes to a person, we don't do. I mean, some places in the United States we do, in Canada they do, in California, the super liberal places in the world, they allow assisted suicide.
Oh, I didn't know that Canada does allow that.
Some places, yeah. But I mean,
wow.
if you know you're going to live another 2 years in agonizing pain, dying of cancer, you should have that choice.
Unless you're maybe just hoping that there's going to be some miraculous breakthrough that'll save your ass. I mean, unlikely. I get that.
And
but
you can, and it's still your choice.
Right.
They're not telling you have to do it.
Right.
The business end of it, though, especially when it comes to the hospitals and stuff like that, like, it could also be, what if they don't want to let 95-year-old grandma go because somebody really wants to have that Louis Vuitton bag?
That wouldn't shock me at all.
Like, I've worked with families for I was a caseworker for many, many years, and I've seen all kinds of different funness in family dynamics, and I really do believe that some people will go out of their way to keep a relative alive just for the sake of holding on to, or being able to have something grandfathered into them, money, or a business, or whatever else it is. So I
also think they might not want to legalize stuff like that because the healthcare industry makes so much damn money the longer we keep people alive.
Well, not in your case, because you're going to go Cocaine Bear. And
No, but I'm going to have to look
in a
up this
barrel
movie now.
over
It's going to be
Niagara.
funny.
You should do the tightrope thing over Niagara, too. That'd be kind of fun. I would love to see
Niagara.
that.
Yeah, I'm definitely not a balanced guy.
You could do a tightrope between Niagara and Binghamton.
From their healthcare and hospital gown have one thing in common. You never know which end is covered. Lady got admitted to the hospital because she swallowed a roll of quarters. An hour went by, no change. See, and that's why we need you to beat them up.
God help us.
The doctor shoved 2 fingers in my ass because he wanted a second opinion.
I got thrown out of a colonoscopy for bringing a ball gag.
Oh, yeah, you're 50. You can make colonoscopy jokes, too.
I haven't done that yet.
Neither have I.
Me neither, but I'm not of age yet.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
hold on,
am.
stand up.
Right. You do my pinky, and he'll do the.
You got the glove? Oh, God.
All right.
Yeah, not looking forward to that one.
No, me neither. Me neither. But I got to do it.
Although we've both been around Jeff Bossy once in a while, so
that's
we've
it.
already been violated. Probably.
You haven't even scratched the surface of Jeff Bossy. You have not even scratched that surface. Don't worry, it gets funner.
I met the guy once.
It gets funner as you go. Every day it gets a little bit more interesting.
Oh, Fremder. I woke up from my colonoscopy with tinnitus. I think the doctor lost his ring in me. Fremder. See, I get mad at myself for just reading it.
Yeah.
All right.
My kids were 12 that wrote funnier jokes than that. I remember my one daughter coming home from school. I think she was in I don't know, 2nd or 3rd grade. She goes, "Dad, I want to tell you a joke." Now this is years ago. And I'm like, "What's it?" She goes, "What do you call a dinosaur that's about to laugh?" I'm like, "What?" She's like, "Pre-hysterical."
That's pretty smart.
I thought that was funny, but hysterically funny because this little kid knew what prehistorical was at that age. I was like, "That's awesome."
Was that the organ guy?
Organ donor?
The organ guy?
Yeah, that we were discussing earlier. The one that wants to take you to the...
Yes.
Oh,
yes, that is him.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, this is...
Organ like...
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I was...
So he wants to take Tony out with his organ?
Well, yeah, before you got here, I was saying, in fact, Danny, who's watching, Danny was on the show last Thursday, and he told me, I think it was twice, he told me I was a good-looking guy during the show. I was like, oh.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, but it was just, that's just not my thing, with another guy. So I was like, nothing personal. It's just not my thing. But the same day he said it, this guy was here. This is a guy who does, he's like the handyman around here. He was here that day, too, and I was leaving. I was saying goodbye to him, and I asked him what he was doing the rest of the day, just making conversation. He turns to me, and I've known this guy for a long time, but it was the first time he's ever done anything like this. He goes, I think today I'm going to go shave my head and grow my beard out longer so I look like you. I was like, okay. So then today, I was here this morning, and he's here working. He lives in the Dominican Republic. I'm sorry, he's from the Dominican Republic, still has family there. So he goes there a lot.
So that's a hell of a commute.
Yeah, I know.
Handyman,
So he goes there a lot.
Pay him really well.
So he's leaving, I think it's tomorrow. He's going there for a month to see his family. So this morning he asked me to go with him. I swear to you, he asked me.
Is he buying?
I don't care if he's buying or not. It's not my, So I was just like, I can't just drop my stuff and go. Like what excuse do you come up with? Like, sorry, you're not my type. Like I just.
That works.
Sorry, I feel like you're going to harvest my organs.
So yeah, so Mo got all excited at this because apparently she's into violence and people tearing each other up like their body parts. So she got all excited.
He wants you to be like a drug mule or something.
I said to him, I go, well.
Oh, they could fill up what's left, the prosthetic leg.
What? We'll pack them up, and then they gets down there. They'll do the colonoscopy, and they'll pull it all back out.
There you go.
They can attach a new leg, like.
Wait, when you go through the airport, do you put the leg separate, or do you walk through the with the leg?
Well, obviously he wouldn't walk through; he'd hop through. But that's besides the point.
Well, no, is the leg with you when you?
The leg is with me when I.
Okay.
And that's how they say it too. So please go through the. And I say, well, before I go through the, I'm going to set off the because my leg is titanium and it sets off the.
I always set off the because then it becomes the bing, like the Monty Python machine. It's anyway.
Yes,
when you
yes.
Get through airport security, they could pack that shit full of.
I do tell them, and I say, look, it's going to go off. I have a prosthetic leg, and usually, I then have to go into some private room with them so I can take the leg off, and they have to search it,
and that's where you get the colonoscopy.
I should.
So you've probably had plenty of them. You just don't like to admit it.
It's all been recreational. So.
Recreation.
There it is. Danny wrote, Tony is hot. See, your people are scaring me. See, why can't you sit here and tell me how hot I am? That would be good. That I would like. But Danny, you're just not, Danny, you're about to have a baby. Danny, you stop it. What? Oh, hey.
But she took her glasses off so she can't see what you look like.
Exactly. Right. He'll be blurry to me. Now he'll
He's
be
probably
good.
hot. I can't tell for sure.
You are enchanting.
Ooh.
Come on, there's got to be a guy, though, that you can look at and be like, He's a handsome guy. You don't have that
no,
guy.
I am the worst.
Really?
I cannot gauge what makes a guy good looking. All right, I'll take that back. The only guy I ever looked at and was like, all right, I can understand what women see, George Clooney. But Tom Cruise, like at his height, I was like, he's a nerdy looking twerp. What do people see? Brad Pitt is, to me, he's weird looking. He's got like weird fish lips. Like I cannot get, I don't gauge, or even for myself. Like I have no problem with people telling me what to wear because I have no idea what looks good. I have no. Now a woman, I can.
Like we're big hockey fans in my house, huge Ranger fans, and my daughter's Henrik Lundqvist was the goalie for the Rangers for a while.
Yeah,
and I've always said he's a good looking guy. So my daughters call him my boy crush. He's my boy crush.
Oh, all right.
So,
wow.
Well, would I?
Well, because he's got the money.
Yeah, is he buying?
So, yeah,
Who's your celebrity crush? Like your whole pass? Do you get a whole pass?
I don't think I ever thought about like an actual.
Oh,
we've never actually discussed that.
You've never asked your wife. You guys have never discussed a whole pass.
She could care less.
She could care less.
Into that sort of thing. She doesn't play those games, but I don't know. There's got to be somebody.
Oh, I would think so. What's yours? Your hall pass and or celebrity go-to.
Well, there's two different things. There's that if you were gonna switch teams, who would it be?
I did.
And then there's the if you were gonna be allowed to cheat on your significant other. Who would it be?
That's what I'm asking. Well,
things.
I'm not talking about the other team. I'm just talking about who's your celebrity crush and who, because your hall pass and your celebrity crush could be two different people.
It's true.
So that's what I'm asking. Who's your hall pass and who's your celebrity go-to? And it could be the same person, but it might not be.
So this is, I can pick anybody but Emily?
No, you can stick with Emily if you
I'm
want.
sticking with Emily.
Good for you. Good answer.
I'm sticking with Emily.
Which Emily?
Santosis.
Oh, good choice.
That's my woman.
I like Emily.
They're together.
Oh, are you?
They're together.
Really?
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm Mr. Emily.
She makes me laugh. She's so funny.
Oh, Emily's
Back
great,
off,
man.
buddy.
I remember, TV bits and whatever. I remember a lot of people's sets, so I'll go home and I'll be like, oh, you're going to go see this show tonight? Oh, Emily's in this show. She does this bit, does that. And I can, him to her to me just cracks me up every time she says that.
Yep.
So,
she's great.
She's amazing.
Yeah, she's very funny. Very funny.
So back off.
Danny says the missing leg thing is even hotter. Oh, my goodness. During the pandemic, my doctor did virtual colonoscopy, says Fremder.
Come on, that's funny. Takes like the probe and like Andrew has to do it himself. Doctor's like goes to the left. She still has to drink the shit beforehand.
Yeah, right.
Oh, that's nasty.
Sorry, I've been with my children nonstop for several
Well,
days.
he saw you laughing, so now he's continuing.
Oh, yeah.
He told me to stick my fingers up my ass to tell him how it felt. And now Carol's joining in. Carol, don't encourage him. She's laughing.
Oh God.
Well, there was that virtual gynecological visit that happened during COVID. I can't imagine that it's very different.
There should be.
Without having but I had to pay the co-payment for someone else. It was
right.
They weren't paying me.
There's only so much you can do virtually in that sense,
Well, the rest of it was up to God.
Fremder says he was going to be a gynecologist, but he couldn't find an opening. And that's why you're not.
Yeah, no. Stay away from things you don't know about, Andrew.
That's right.
God.
None of us have that problem, just so you know.
Finding an opening?
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you have a problem?
No, not usually.
Do you have a problem?
No.
I joke about work stuff always gives me stuff to work with, and I went home the other day telling my wife this story. I had 2 female nurses came to me and asked me to help put a catheter in a woman.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, putting a catheter in a guy is a lot easier than a woman because there's only one friggin' hole. It's done. Okay.
Yeah.
But for some reason, the girls were having trouble getting a catheter in this lady. This lady's in her 70s, so I go walking in there, and that's it's uncomfortable already in this situation. So I come walking in, And I'm like, all right, get everything ready to go. And I start, and the lady looks up and she goes, so how's everything look down there? I'm like, how do you respond to that? I'm like,
beautiful.
Yeah, great. Like, what do you?
It's par.
Yeah.
Nice view of the ocean. Like, yeah. What do you say?
Like, I go home. I tell my wife this. I'm like, oh no, honey, it gets better. Then she goes, my doctor used to tell me I had a very dry vagina. I'm like, why I don't want to. Like, the things people say to you in the most awkward moments.
I had a doctor once tell me that I had good balls. Yeah, that's exactly what I did. I just.
Okay.
Yeah, what do you say to that?
Outrageous.
And I don't know why he even said that to
And
me.
it was your eye doctor.
Well, he saw them well.
You've got great balls. Sorry, that's a Butera joke.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
Sort of.
I like John Butera. So the end.
I like John too. John and I have known each other for.
You two
quite
look
some time.
alike.
Yeah, actually, there is a little
fucking
resemblance.
insult.
So you've known him since before you got into comedy?
Through my best friend in the fire department for many years was my friend Joey. He lived on the street where John used to have his pizzeria.
Oh, okay.
Right at the corner, and John and Joey became good friends. So that's how I met John years ago. Joey has since passed.
Tell me about the Lieutenant Joseph P. DiBernardo Memorial Foundation.
There you go.
I do my research. Go ahead. Tell us about it.
So, Joe DiBernardo, he was my best friend growing up. I mean, when you talk about people who we used to fight with each other, like you were joking about that, like we used to fight. We used to be best friends 5 minutes later, 10 minutes later, whatever it was. He was an awesome firefighter. He was a great mentor to me. He taught a lot of people a lot of amazing things about the fire service. And in 2005, there was a fire in the Bronx, and a bunch of firemen got trapped in a 5th-story apartments. When they tried to get to the windows hoping to find a fire escape, because the building was illegally subdivided, they were not where they thought they were. So their choices were burn to death or jump out the window. 6 guys jumped out the window that day. 2 guys died that day at that fire, and 4 guys survived. Joey was one of the guys who survived. He died in the hospital several times. They brought him back. He had plates, screws. He was in a coma for 13 days, I think it was. And they basically bolted him back together, and he dealt with a lot of psych issues and pain issues and whatever. Several years after all of this happened, Joey had an accidental overdose on all the medications they had.
Oh, my goodness.
Apparently he, they had dinner, drank some wine, he took his meds, forgot he took his meds, I guess, and then took them again, and just with everything they had him on, it was just enough that he just didn't wake up. But
that's awful.
The foundation was started because of the fire itself. These guys were trapped in these apartments, and they had no way to get out because the city had given them bailout ropes, or a rope that they could hook to rappel out, and then took them away for some legal ridiculousness.
Oh, wow.
So these guys had no way to save themselves. After that, National Fire Protection Association got involved, and they said that any fireman going into a building needs to have that equipment. But people don't realize, like here on Long Island, or you look in the cities, the overwhelming majority of fire departments in the United States of America are volunteer.
Yeah.
All right. And most places on Long Island don't have a tax base like we do. Like I as a volunteer fireman in Setauket, when I was a member there, we would buy a new truck every 10 years, because National Fire Protection Association said that's the way it should be.
Sure.
But on Long Island, you can afford to do that.
Right.
You go to upstate New York or Kansas or Missouri or whatever it is, these guys will stand on a street corner with a rubber boot begging for donations to buy a 30-year-old fire truck. That's going to be the one that they're going to depend on for your house to be on fire.
Right.
So departments can't afford this equipment. So we started the DiBernardo Foundation. The goal is to raise money so that we can donate that money out as grant money to departments who can't afford to buy bailout rope systems or personal safety systems.
So let me ask you something, because I've never thought about this. Because with Long Island, so many people complain about the high taxes and stuff. Does any of our taxes go to the
Yeah.
So I'm glad you just even.
But it's a very little part.
But all right, which I get, but at least. But when I hear stuff like that, because I love Long Island, and I mean, I'm sure everybody's heard it. So many people, all they talk about is leaving, and so many people want to go. So many people do go. I have zero desire to leave this place. I love it here.
I love it and I hate it.
I love it. I don't have a single. I mean, yeah, are there negative things? Of course, but I do not have even an ounce of a reason that I would want to leave. But when I hear stuff like this, it makes me feel better about the high taxes because I've tried to tell people, well, we get free like free concerts at the beach and in our parks. A lot of places don't have that. We have access to these beaches. There's so much.
You're still paying for access to most of those beaches,
right? But that's my point, though. We're paying these high taxes, but we're getting that for it. And now this is another reason why I don't mind paying the high taxes.
Your fire taxes are a fraction of what you pay, but because there is such a tax base here on Long Island with businesses and people and so on and so forth, there's enough money to fund these agencies. But you go to you go to, let's say, upstate New York, and I'll just say Saugerties or something like that. They might have a huge fire district with only a handful of population, a handful of taxpayers. So the money that they have coming in is minimal.
So what do? They just fundraise?
Yeah.
So your memorial fund is it just for Long Island, or you find any place in the country?
All over the country, people can. We run a big charity seminar. Actually, now it's more than one every year. Now we do a big seminar every year. There's 2 days of hands-on training for firefighters out at the Fire Academy in Yaphank. And guys come from all over the country. We've had people from Montreal. We've had guys come repeatedly from Hawaii, and they come and they train there hands-on for 2 days. They do classroom for a day. All the money that we raise from that then goes out as grant money. This coming year will be the 10th year of the foundation, and we'll probably break $1 million in donations.
No shit! Wow.
And it's it's sad that it needs to exist.
True. Yeah.
But you know what? If it saves one guy from winding up in that same situation,
right.
It's worth it.
Wow. I'm glad I brought it up. That's fantastic. That's great. Nice job. That's really great. That's it. I mean, I went. Before we chopped the leg off, we tried to save it. I was on crutches for 3 years, and same thing, nuts and bolts and screws, bolts that were breaking inside, and same thing. Take medication, and then even, of course, with the amputation meds. The very first surgery I had, because I had many. The very first surgery, we tried to save the leg, and I did. It was 13 hours. I was in the hospital for, I think, 3 weeks. It was awful. And no, I take that back. After the amputation, they put me on oxycodone. I mean, it was like bad acid trips, man. I mean, I couldn't. Stuff that was going on after taking just 2, and I did it for 2 days, and I said, forget it. I'm going cold turkey here. I'll deal with the pain. I'm not taking this stuff.
That's a lot.
Amateur.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. Oh yeah, true. Yeah, absolutely. Total pussy. I have no problem admitting that.
But part of the problem with the opiate issues that we have nowadays is because they were so actively happy to here, take more of it, take more of it, take more of it. They just dished it out like it was going out of style. But
wow. You could. I don't know if you wanted to
who knew
comment
we were
on
going to get
that.
serious in this conversation?
We do it all in here, man.
I'm in recovery. So I have, I know, right?
You.
Oh my God.
Absolutely good for you.
Good for you.
So I have, many 24 hours under my belt, but it is, thank God that was just one thing that I just never took to it. I never took 2 prescriptions. Thank God. Other stuff, if it grew, I figured, hey, no problem. But, I never really took to prescriptions. But I think that this cause that you are talking about is absolutely outstanding. I had very little awareness as to how fire departments, especially, knowing that they were volunteer, but I kind of figured that any money that you guys raised went to, booze in the firehouse.
Around here, maybe, but
but I had no idea what a noble,
that's
wonderful
fantastic.
cause. I hope that you'll keep us posted the next time that you do an event or something like that.
Well,
Sure.
we had done with John Butera had set up. We had done a comedy show as a fundraiser, and it was great because it wound up being a lot of guys that were fire department related or somehow related to Joey. So this was before I did comedy, but John was in it. Tugboat Manny.
Right.
And Manny graduated from the same high school as me and Joey and Joey's sister, and they were friends.
Probably had LaRocchia involved, probably.
LaRocchia wasn't, but Billy Bingo was.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then Jack Clunan, who's he was FDNY, he's FDNY firefighter, EMS, and Pete Wolfinger.
Oh, okay.
Pete graduated. He was one of Joey and him were good friends back in high school. He's a freaking nut.
Yes.
To say the least.
Yeah.
But it was kind of cool. So hopefully we'll be able to do that again, and maybe start doing a relatively frequent. I'd love to be able to incorporate it around the time that we do the seminar, so these people who come in from out of state, have something to do at night.
Right.
So
something fun. Right.
This is a hell of a lot of planning that you got going on. I am excited to purchase a ticket and to watch.
Nice.
There you go.
Cool.
We'll see what happens.
All right, so it's just about time for us to go. Before we go, quickly, there's something that I'd like to do with our guests. I always look on Facebook, and I see mutual friends, and then I just throw the names out, and you guys say whatever you want to say to the name. And if it's somebody, maybe you don't even remember them. I tried my best to look at mutual friends that the three of us have, but I don't think there may be
friends yet.
Well, true, but I'm saying between all three of us.
I don't remember getting friend requested. So
I'm
also friends with a lot of people that I just getting into this industry.
Right. So there might be some
know.
you might say, look, I'm not sure who that person is, and that's fine. And I tried my best to keep it between people that all three of us know, but there might be one or two names that not all three of us know. But
you mean me?
Nobody likes you. I'm only kidding.
I'm glad somebody finally said it.
Then you're just gonna throw something out there that makes no sense whatsoever.
I am no. That's it. I feel like
that's it. She's out.
I figured that made me in.
Oh,
haze like that.
Yeah,
Nobody
that's
likes me. I figure I've earned my spot here.
You like Emily, and I like Emily. That's good.
Fuck off.
I don't like her like that.
Just a little jealousy going on here. Jeez. Oh, goodness. Wow, look at it. Wow,
look at that. Just like angry face.
It's a little turns you on a little bit though, right? Yeah, a little bit. All right, first name, we mentioned her before, Laura Patton.
Don't know her personally.
Oh, okay. Great comedian.
So, yeah,
I've seen she's very funny.
The next
Amazing
name.
Cook.
Amazing Cook.
Amazing Cook.
Really?
Oh,
Amazing Cook. Not as good as and Carla's very good. But anyway, but I'm not going to tell you guys about what the female mom comedians do.
Oh, I know all about it. Laura's been in
that
here
was
talking about it.
A really funny show. That was a good lineup.
I wasn't there. I don't know.
The next name I believe is only a mutual friend of ours. I could be wrong. Matt Napo.
Matt Napo. I know the name, but I can't think of.
He actually has a show in here in the mornings. Coffee with the Dog, it's called. No, it doesn't ring a bell? All right. Carrie Karavis.
Funny.
Okay. Nothing?
Oh, I like her.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm
like her work.
This is for both of you. Yeah.
I only met her that one time with the with the movie, but she was
hilarious.
Great. No, and good company. Like just a solid human being.
Michelle Fox.
Performed with her twice now, I think it was.
She's a great host. Love her.
I actually she did my daughter was coming to one, and she does this one bit about Starbucks and her kid. And when she said it, I was like, oh my God, that is my daughter. So the next time I was in a show with my daughter was there, I'm like, you have to do this bit for me.
Right.
So my daughter was looking, she's like, oh, funny, Dad, real funny. It's a $16 lemonade. And then my daughter actually was arguing with her on stage about it. She's like, it was only $4.95 or whatever.
Yeah, right.
God.
That's my pain in the ass, kid.
Michelle Fox, anything?
I very much like Michelle Fox. I admire her. I think that she is such a solid fixture here with Governors, I've noticed. And I've only been around for a few years, and she always represents gracefully.
Yep.
Like she presents herself very, very well. And I think that she represents the brand amazingly. I nothing but respect for Michelle Fox.
You nailed it for Michelle. That was well said. Joey Petroni.
Joey Petroni.
Long hair, big long beard.
Don't personally know.
Okay.
That's funny.
Joey's funny. He's outrageous.
I'm sorry, I don't have more to say about you, Joe.
I'm jealous of him if he's got long hair and a good
beard,
I
hear you.
We don't have those issues.
Luke Piccioni. Piccioni, I believe. He has a great Adam Sandler impression. He's a funny guy.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
I've just seen his stuff. That's
okay. Eric Haft.
What, are you going through the whole movie cast?
Well, actually, I guess I didn't even realize I did that.
Which
You're
movie
right.
are we talking about here?
We just, a bunch of us just made a movie called Comic Sans.
Comic Sans?
Yes. And, yeah, you're right. I didn't even realize I was doing that.
Oh my God, Bosie's in there, I'm sure.
No, Bosie's not here.
Who else?
Roseanne Sorrentino.
Roseanne's great. I've performed with her. I've been lucky enough to perform with her a couple times now. Her and Bridget are both hysterical. You know, and she's just a stand-up person. You know, I met her, did a show with her in Larakia, and I did his podcast with them on them.
Right.
It's just great people.
John's a funny man.
Yeah.
Don Sill.
Don Sill. I know the name.
Okay, well, he was the mastermind behind Comic Sans. Nothing?
I love Roseanne. I love Bridget. And Don is also... But we've talked about how fond I am of Don.
We have.
And what he's brought to... he means a lot to me. He's a good guy. I like how not only did you keep it centered towards the movie, but it was centered towards Governor's people, which is...
Well, yeah, again, trying to find mutual friends. That's, what we all have in common. So.
I've met so many amazing people doing this, and I'm only a few years into this, and I'm really nobody. Like, my biggest claim to fame is that I'm dating Emily. It's true. But being a part of this family, of this network, is it's really cool. I like being a part of it.
Well, I mean, I'm new to this, so I really don't know many of them at this point, and I just hope that at some point I get to perform with them, get to know them, whatever it is. I mean, I will say that I've met a lot of great people. There's been a lot of people that have been very helpful.
Nice.
Name
one.
Well, Butera's been a big help to me, for starters. But not even just like Rob White's been great.
Who doesn't like
Yeah, Rob's
I love
cool.
Rob.
He did that, right?
I love Rob. Andrew Washington's been good with me. Andy Pajanos has helped me out with tips and here and there during open mics. Alec Bradley's done it. There's so many of these guys have given me like.
I said just name one. I'm kidding.
But he named everybody but you.
I
named but you.
Right. I learned from Fat Jay that I have a sickness.
And I'm not a guy. I mean, I'm fine being misgendered and all, but
I said I learned from Fat Jay that I have a sickness.
Yes, well, I think everybody has that sickness, according to Jay.
Oh yeah, well, it depends on who they are. Some people have it worse than others.
Well, that's true. Yes.
But like I will say that, like that group that I've done a lot of open mic night with, they've all been really good about suggesting things, trying things, giving me tips.
Yep. The last name I do have on the list, although we have talked about it quite a bit, but there she is, Emily Santosas. She's on the list. That's the last name.
Take her name off that list.
Why? Why?
Do not talk about... Keep my girlfriend's name
out of your mouth.
Off your paper.
That's cool. Now you're going to slap me. That'd be cool.
Oh, God.
Hold on. Let me get my phone out. We'll take some video.
I can't. It's only funny when I do it to my kids.
And
they know when it's coming, too, because I just yell out Zika virus.
Wow.
One time I smacked my kid on the back of the head. Just sue me, really.
That's it?
Well, okay.
Try a 2x4.
Times have changed.
I had seen a mosquito on her head, and I thought I was going to save her life. So she's going, Ma, why'd you smack me? Oh, malaria. I saved you from malaria.
Malaria.
There's no malaria in North America.
Yes, there is.
I'm like, okay, Zika virus then. So now every time I yell at Zika virus, my kids know to just...
I bought it's a weird, I hit my wife one night while we were sleeping, right?
My goodness.
And like I was like hitting.
While we were sleeping.
She wakes me up, and I wake up and I'm startled. I'm like, I'm sorry, all right. And then we're laying there, and then I'm laughing. I'm like, do you want to know what I was doing? She's like, what? We had watched this thing for when Jurassic World was coming out.
Okay.
And I had a nightmare that we were staying at the Jurassic Hotel, and a velociraptor was trying to break into our bedroom while we were sleeping. And I was kicking and fighting the velociraptor to keep it out of the bedroom from killing her. So this is why I beat my wife up. So now I literally every time I see one of the things or I go up, we hung a little velociraptor on the Christmas tree this year. So this becomes my excuses for why I beat my wife.
This is setting the pretense for when his wife ends up.
Oh, what a great excuse for beating up your wife. I was
Oh,
trying
you
to
don't-
save your
It
life.
just became this. I say it to my wife all the time. I'm like, I saved you from a velociraptor once.
I'm your hero.
How many men do you know that would do that for you? It's true.
Cocaine velociraptor.
Cocaine
Yeah,
velociraptors.
That's the
There
second
we
one.
go.
Yeah, that's the
Oh,
second one
God.
in the cocaine animal series.
Can you velociraptor versus bear?
What's the name of this is going to be? What's the name of this movie, by the way?
Cocaine Bear.
It's called
That's the name of
Cocaine
it.
Bear?
Yes. Yes. Yep.
Velociraptor versus bear. I'm going Velociraptor.
But what if the bear had cocaine?
If the bear was on cocaine, though, then that
Yep.
changes the whole dynamic of it.
Okay,
Absolutely.
what if the velociraptor was tripping? Like shrooms, you know.
I'm still going with the Cocaine Bear.
Still going with cocaine bear?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Before we go, what do you got coming up? Do you have an improv night?
I really got nothing.
Not even an improv thing?
Not at this time.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I had this. This is what I had to look forward to my
Cool.
whole comedy career.
Well, I'm very sorry about that.
You were my first gig of 2023.
All right. What about you? What do you got coming up?
Broadway Comedy Club on Wednesday.
Oh, nice.
And then next Friday, the 20th, I'm at Cafe Spiga in Mount Sinai.
Nice.
Cool.
And then.
And what do you do? They just find you on Facebook and stuff, where you post your dates and stuff?
The funniest Brian Paul gets
There
me
you
a
go.
lot of attention.
Except he doesn't accept friend requests, it seems.
Depends on where you send it. Like, I have
I friend requested the
I will
funniest
find you.
Brian Paul.
On Facebook.
On Facebook?
Yes.
On Facebook.
And why would I say no to you? I don't see that possible.
Did you? Well, you didn't say no. I find that hard to believe. You just didn't see it.
He might not have seen it then.
Well, look right now. Pull out that phone right now and do it. All right.
There.
With that,
That means I gotta get up.
He's got to. Well, we'll leave it anyway.
Oh, now I really see how it
But
is.
it's funny. The funniest Brian Paul on TikTok and Instagram and all the other crap.
All the other things, right?
I'm gonna
All
find
right.
another Brian Paul who's funnier.
He's
I'm not-
the funnier Brian Paul.
I'm not related to Aaron Paul or
That's a shame.
Rand
Logan
or
Paul
Logan Paul, Jake
Or
Paul.
Paul Schaefer or Paul McCartney.
Or Paul Bond or
Right.
Paul.
Right.
I don't know, that guy.
Politically, I might be somewhat related to Paul Bond, but not completely. That's for sure.
All right.
Bond is my frenemy.
Oh, okay.
Makes me laugh too.
Time to go. We're out of here. We actually went over, but so what? Thank you, Brian Paul.
Thank you
nice
for
to
having
have
me.
you in here. Hope it's not,
Thank you.
hope it's again soon. And of course, thank you as well. Hope you're back here very soon as well. We are, let's see, today is Monday. We got Steve Squared on tonight, and then The Wort is on at, Steve Squared at 6:30. The Wort is on at 8. We are not here tomorrow. They're redoing the floors tomorrow. So I've been told tomorrow and Wednesday we cannot be in here. Hershey and the Keegs, still not sure what we're doing with them tomorrow night. I don't know if they're going to do a remote location or we're just not doing the show. I'll let you guys know. Then Wednesdays we're not here anyway, so we won't be back here until Thursday. So Steve Squared tonight at 6:30, The Wort at 8 o'clock, maybe Hershey and the Keegs tomorrow night at 9, but this show won't be back on until Thursday. So enjoy the next couple of days. Danny Coronado says, great guests. Bye, guys. Very nice. Yes, they were great guests. Enjoy thank you guys again for hanging out with us. And thank all you guys.
Absolute
and
pleasure.
We will see you guys on Thursday. See you later.
Bye.
You wanna listen in as the show begins. You're telling all your friends the party never ends.